Well, there's the local school, Roptown Skole. Just getting a look at the view here. It's a pretty good view over Bergen. It's very icy though, I have to watch it. So anyway, so this time we'll go through Sandviken again, downtown along the Bergen, and then maybe to Nordnes if I go that far, it depends. Just a little casual stroll taking photos. A lot of people down there, so I mean, I'm not really a street photographer, so I'm not sure about taking photos of strangers. But anyway, some more street photos. This is just to get at least a little bit of exercise because it's, as you can see, it's really too icy to be going hiking in the mountains around Bergen, or the hills anyway, small mountains. 600 meters, the tallest one. So a lot of offshore boats, usually around Bergen. Well, we might go through the Koengen, actually. We could do that. Through the fort. And there's Sandviksfjellet. And it's a pretty big school, actually. I don't know how many students, 800, 1,000 or more. So as you can see, someone's building a fire. Or I mean, electricity prices are extremely high, 4 kroners a kilowatt hour, so anyone with a fireplace is using it. So anyway, just looking across the rooftops. This is interesting. This is the Repslagergaten. Repslager is the rope making street, because the long buildings on the left were originally factories for making ropes for sail ships. So they had very long buildings to twine the hemp into these long ropes. And they've been turned into apartments, but they've kept the facade, which is all the boards are on the cladding are slanted, which is quite unique. So you can see the boards are all slanted. So they kept the facade, which is pretty cool. I think, anyway. These funny lanterns. These are all cherry trees, sour cherries, when in season, moreller. They're really small though, and no one picks them because they're a little high up, you need a ladder. But every year we get tons of cherries on these. It's the local kindergarten. All the buildings are in pastel colors. This goes down to my local pub, my local Dr. Wiesner's. No, my local pub, closed now of course. But now there's a lot of corona restrictions, so you're going to have to be seated to have a beer, you can't go to the bar, you have to order with the QR code, etc, etc. It used to be a spa back when it first opened, a wellness spa. What it's called, it was called Dr. Wiesner's, I forget. Anyway, it's community owned, so that's cool. So it used to be a bakery, it looks like. It's apartments now, obviously. That looks pretty recent though. I think that's Mariakirken, one of the older churches in Bergen. Bergen was just on the other side, is just to the left. It's my favorite kebab shop, probably the best in Bergen. All the cops go there, so it must be good, right? You know, Nirvana kebab. Yeah, we're behind Bergen, going through the back. That's the Radisson there, actually. Not very old. But the other buildings are quite old. They've been rebuilt after multiple fires. So that's an older building, for sure. There's Bergen. Lots of little shops and tourist things. and Christmas lights. It's a little play for the children. That's funny. Oh, there's Bergen. Quite a few people out. Well, here's the fish markets. It's closed for the year. Fish markets again and Flame in the background. Christmas market and the tree. Mostly closed, the Christmas market. That's very bad. Bratwurst place is open, Finn. No tartiflette this time though. Blue Stone is the unofficial meeting place. You can see Ulriken in the background. We're getting up to Nordnes. Oops. Kimchi everywhere. How about that? Nationale Scene, the local theatre. Ole Bildsplass. Big sign saying use a face mask. Anyway, that's what's playing now. Just looking down to the Blåstein with Ulriken in the background. If you can see it, that might help a little bit. Ulriken in the background. But we're going to go back and head up to Nordnes. So, here's the monastery. Lots of cute little restaurants there. So there's Klosteret. This funny building, Klosteret Mat og Vinhus. Anyway, I walked in there, it's for pensioners, but they served me anyway, even though I'm not a pensioner. And it was only about 40 kroner for a sandwich and a coffee. That was funny, all these pensioners looking at me, wondering what I was doing there. And there's the actual kloster, the abbey, the monk house, or whatever you call it, cloister. There's a hotel, that'd be an amazing place to stay, a great location. A little tree-lined avenue. Lots of snow. Very pretty. It's a nice area. Very pretty. It's the harbour and Hurtigruten goes from down there. Or the old fortifications going back to about, I don't know exactly when, 1200? Something like that. There's a little park in there. It's popular in summer. Some great old buildings. Apartments be very expensive. A little balcony and sun. Well, I'm pretty sure this building is a school. I think. This huge whole building is Fagskolen i Hordaland. It's called Vestland now, but that's the vocational trade school. So it's not for restaurant cooks, for tradies, for electricians, for plumbers, it's not for maritime subjects. And that looks like an elementary school there. Pretty big building, impressive. The new building isn't quite as nice as the old one, as you can see. These apartments here are quite old. They'd be going back to the 1800s, I think. Well, the aquarium is playing some music. Very expensive aquarium. I forget how much they want. $600 for an adult, $100. It's a bit of a rip-off, so I don't need to go there today. And it's a nice little aquarium. It's small, but it's okay. They have some reptiles and spiders and insects and things like that. Well, that's the front of the aquarium. They're open. Just go and see how much the ticket prices are. Well, lots of sparkcykler everywhere, scooters. So it wasn't that bad. It was only 310 kroner. Only 50 bucks US, roughly. Oh, 50 bucks Australian, 40 bucks US. Well, this is Nordnes. We'll go around to the swimming pool. As you can see, a lot of offshore boats all parked here. And there's a Rotthauen in the distance, and Sandviken. That's Håkonshallen to the right. You can barely see. I zoom in. The 10th or 12th century castle to the right of that last offshore ship. And there's Rotthauen up behind the green ship. Anyway, so I'm not sure how old these houses are, but they're several hundred years old, definitely, maybe 17th century or 18th century, 1800s maybe. So they're quite old. These big buildings, sjöboder, were originally used for storing. They have these things at the front, you can see sticking out the front, they have a crane there to haul cargo up and down from the sailing ships. So these are all warehouses for shipping. It would have been wood, and it would have been dried cod and all kinds of things back in the day. Big building there is the Havforskningsinstitut, is the Ocean Research Institute. I'm not sure what they call themselves in English. Anyway. So here's the little park, popular picnic spot in summer. A lot of young people partying here probably as well, university students. And funny thing is, there's a big totem pole from either the US or Canada down there, so we'll go have a look at that. Well, Edvard Grieg Johannesson, I assume it's Edvard, and probably Grieg, the founder of Nordnes Park. 1887, I guess it was founded. So from gift from Seattle to Bergen in 1970 for the 900th anniversary. Bergen, I guess, was founded 1070. Well, it's pretty big. Huh. That's something else. Pretty cool. So there's Ytre Sandviken over there, and Sandviken. And if we pan around, the island over there is Askøy, with the Askøy Bridge. There's Damsgårdsfjellet. Anyway, 7 mountains. Nordnes swimming pool. It's heated, or part of it is. Yeah, it's heated and there are people swimming in it. So it's open. See all the steam rising from it. Doesn't look like a whole lot of people swimming there right now though. I can't see from this angle. It's more or less straight into the sun, so I need the tree to shade a little bit. Yeah, there's people swimming. Cold when you get out though. All breaststroke. No one crawling. I wonder how warm it is. Anyway. Time to head back along Strandgaten. So that's an interesting little shopping arcade. little street. So we'll do that. Don't have to go back the same way. Anyway, that was Nordnes. The point of this part of Bergen, a little tippy point. Oh, just heading back. This is all industrial. It's not nearly as interesting. You can go by Tollbodakaien maybe. The customs key. There's a lot of creative graffiti in Bergen. Just at every little corner. It's interesting. Yet another church, big one. Slightly more recent. Still, oh, there's a sign. I'll see how old it is. I forget what this one's called. I can never remember because I'm not usually buying Nordnes that often. See if this tells us something. No, it's for some people. It's for for some dead people. Okay, this is Nykirken. According to Google, it's a 17th century, so that's 1600s, church with an iconic tower. Clock isn't working though. Anyway, pretty big church. Nykirke means new church. Strandgaten. Strandgaten again, not pedestrian though, one of the main shopping streets. So we'll go along the wharf. Since I need to use the toilet to see the fish market. So there's a multi-million-dollar boat. Huh. And then get this. If I can zoom in. Some graffiti that's very apropos. On the other side there's the Bergen. Here's Bergen. So anyway, capitalism is the virus, and then you have this ugly, huge, expensive boat. Anyway, there's Flan. There's Nordnes Bergen, which is cafes and restaurants and pubs. And then more offices and shops, and then you have Bergen there. So I think we can just about start heading home. I have to use the toilet again soon. Bergen and Flan in the same photo. How about that? And that's the express boat terminal. Strandkaiterminalen. Fleabon up there. And Kjøttbasaren. Fleabon isn't running though. Best sausages, only sausages in Bergen. It's a standard classic, especially late night on a Friday, Saturday night. There's queues. It's open till about 3 in the morning. Probably not anymore because now alcohol has stopped serving at 12. Yeah, it's a cute little street, but then just around the corner we get a lot of drug users. So it's gone kind of downhill, this neighborhood. Too many Christian missionaries. More graffiti. Probably paid for though. I mean, I assume so. That's actually really good. So closed until they get bigger bigger Fleabon, bigger wagons or trains or whatever you want to call it, funicular. So, hiking up now. That shop is something else. It's a real hoarder. I just heard someone passing by even use the same word, hoarder. So he has a problem. He's got two of them. Well, hope you enjoyed that little walk. That was from Sandviken down to the fish markets, then Torgallmenningen up to Nordnes and back. So it was a good little 2 hour because I was going very slowly and taking photos. So not a whole lot of exercise, but 2 hour stroll. It's better than nothing. Still too icy really to go in the hills or the mountains. Anyway, time to edit the video and edit the photos.